If I lost all my makeup and beauty products and I had to run straight out to Target and buy some new ones, this is the list of 10 things that I would buy first. There's a mix of makeup, skincare, and hair products, and all of them are really affordable because it's Target. And if you'd like to see another list like this from a different store like Sephora or Ulta or Walmart, I would be happy to do that as well. Just leave your requests down in the comment section, and let's go ahead and jump right into my list. Okay, so coming in at number 10, and this is in no particular order at all, I love all these products for different reasons, is the e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara. Target was the first place that I spotted this in store back when it launched, and I've replaced it once already. In my opinion, it is the best affordable tubing mascara. And yes, there are tons of really great ones out there like the Thrive, the Hourglass one that I like, the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water, you have the Tarte Tartelette tubing mascara. All of those are great, but they are expensive, and if they're not in your budget, this one comes really close in terms of the results, and it's $7. And yeah, the packaging is a little bit flimsier. It doesn't feel quite as heavy or luxurious as the others, but it does get the job done in terms of giving me length and volume and separation. It's not clumpy. And I do think it comes pretty close to my favorite tubing mascara, which is the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions. I believe they were trying to dupe that because it comes with the turquoise packaging, just like the Thrive, and the brushes look very, very similar. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I do prefer the Thrive one a little bit more, but the results are so similar that it's kind of hard to justify the higher price tag at times, especially when this one does make my lashes look really good. So coming in at number 9, we have a cleanser that I've been using for a while now, and I am just hooked on it. So you might remember I was using the La Roche-Posay Foaming Oil Cleanser, and it took me about a year to finish that entire bottle, but I did, and it was so great. I loved it. When I went to go repurchase one day, it was sold out. So I ended up grabbing the CeraVe Oil Foaming Cleanser, which I thought was similar, but I actually didn't end up liking that one as much. I felt like it just didn't rinse as clean. It didn't get my skin as clean. So then I saw this one at Target one day and I decided to try it. This is from Prequel and it is their non-drying glycerin cleanser. Oh my goodness, this is so good. It checks all the boxes for me. First of all, this is 50% glycerin in here. It has this really silky, slippery feel, and it just is so soft as you work it into your skin. It does foam up slightly, but it never ever feels like your skin is being stripped. If anything, my skin looks more plump after I use this, which is totally weird to say about a cleanser. But it does. It's so strange. For me, it's really the Goldilocks of cleansers because it's strong enough to really clean my skin well. I feel like when I'm done using this, it removes all my makeup easily, even mascara. And at the same time, when I rinse this off, my skin just feels so moisturized and hydrated. And I don't have that dry, tight feeling that I normally get when I cleanse my face because I have really dry skin. So I don't know how they do it, but this is the best cleanser I've ever used. It does have a little bit of a funky smell because it's unfragranced, so you can smell the ingredients that are in the formula and it's almost like a mild vinegar type smell. It kind of took me aback when I first tried it, but now I'm kind of used to it and I prefer just smelling the ingredients that are in here than a fragrance that's added to cover that up. So this is great. The bottle is also huge. It's 13.5 fluid ounces. It's gonna last a super long time because you only need the tiniest little bit. So if you have dry skin and you're looking for a really effective cleanser that's super gentle, I highly recommend this one. All right, coming in at number 8, we have the Pixi Beauty Correction Concentrate. So I have honestly lost track of how many times I've purchased this. It's been over and over again, probably over the last like 5 to 6 years that I've been using this. This is a color corrector that I use on my eye area, and I know you've probably heard me talk about this a million times, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but basically I have this little fold on the outer corner of my eye right here, and it sort of makes my eyes look like they're drooping down. I actually have a whole video about how I use this, and I'll just show you a quick clip of that because it'll sort of explain it a little bit more, because in that video I'm not wearing makeup. So at the outer corner of my eye, I have this little fold, and it's a dark area that makes my eye look like it droops down, and it makes me look kind of sad. And I used to try to hide that with concealer, but the concealer just didn't work. It still was there. So then I tried putting this on it, and I couldn't believe how well just one little dab of this product made such a huge difference. It made my eye look so much more awake and more upturned, and it completely hid the darkness on the outer corner of my eye. I also like to put a little dab of this on the inner corner because I sometimes have some darkness there, like a little bit of a blue tint. So this hides that really well. But that being said, I don't put this directly under my eyes here because the skin is a lot thinner, and I just feel like this product is a little too heavy to put in that area. It kind of sinks into the fine lines that are under there. So I much prefer just putting a little dab on the outer and inner corner. That's how I use this. And even though it's a tiny little jar, it lasts a super long time because I only use a little bit at a time. And I think the reason that this works so well is because it's super thick compared to a thinner color corrector. Most of them, even the Becca one, is just a little bit thinner and more emollient. So I find that I would use something like that more underneath my eye here, but this one works the best for those inner and outer corners. So this just hides absolutely everything. You can use it on other areas of your face too if you have other things that you want to cover up. And it's one of those products that I just use every single day, no matter what. All right, so coming in at number 7, we have the Bubble +1 Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. So this has SPF 40, and it was my #1 pick when I tested 30 mineral sunscreens last summer. I did a video on that back in, I think it was the beginning of July, because in June I tested a new mineral sunscreen every single day, and I tested high-end ones, drugstore ones, everything in between, and this was the best, and it's actually one of the most affordable ones that I tried. I started wearing mineral sunscreens after I had reactions to the chemical blends, and that doesn't apply to Asian sunscreens. I'm okay with those, but now that we're no longer able to get those in the US, and if we do, they're actually reformulated to use the chemical filters that we have approved here in the US. So the Korean brands are now having to make a separate formula for the United States, and it's those same chemical filters that are in all of the other US sunscreens. So if you want the true Korean formulas, you have to order from Yes Style or Olive Young, somewhere in Korea. And there's also a chance that it'll get rejected if it goes through customs and it happens to be opened up. So it's a huge pain in the neck now to get our hands on the Korean formulas. It is still possible, but I've kind of just turned back to my tried and true mineral formulas. And this one, honestly, you can't even tell that it's a mineral sunscreen. So I love this for a few reasons. The first one is it is incredibly thin and lightweight. So many mineral formulas are thick and chalky. They're really hard to rub in. This is not like that at all. It feels like a really thin, almost like a tinted moisturizer. It's so silky and smooth, and even though the tint that it has doesn't really offer a lot of coverage, I find that it just sort of helps to even out my skin tone a little bit. So my skin still looks nice if I'm going to the beach, but I'm not wearing makeup. And they also do make an untinted version if you don't like that, but I find that the tint really minimizes the white cast that a lot of mineral sunscreens have. That's the other reason I love this. Sometimes they can just make you look like a ghost. Even though I'm kind of pale, some of them still can leave that white cast even on me. And this one doesn't do that at all. So I really love that too. And also the third reason I love this is because it gives me such a beautiful glow to my skin, and it's moisturizing. A lot of mineral formulas, I find them to be chalky and almost drying on your skin. And with this, it, like I said, it just feels like you're putting on a nice tinted moisturizer. The formula is very elegant. I honestly don't know how they did it, but SPF is really important to me because I've had skin cancer twice. So I really want to make sure that I'm applying it every single day, and I want to have a formula that I actually enjoy putting on. And I used to not look forward to wearing sunscreen, and sometimes I would skip it because I just hated the feel. This one really truly just feels like a beautiful high-end, almost like a skin tint. So I highly recommend checking this out. It's absolutely 100% worth it. Next up at number 6, we have the ColourPop Lippy Pencils. This is sort of a newer find for me. I ended up getting one in PR back around like just before the holidays. They had sent me the shade Oh Snap. It was like in a little holiday kit. I tried this on camera and I remember how much I loved this color, and the formula too was just fantastic. It's exactly what I look for in a lip liner. It has to be creamy enough so it doesn't tug and pull at your lips, but not so creamy that it just sort of wipes away, because that defeats the whole purpose of having a lip liner, right? You want it to stay in place and create a border around your lips. So this is just that perfect in between, and I love using these as lipstick too. I often wear Oh Snap. I have a couple other colors. I'll just show you all the ones that I have. I just ended up going back to Target and getting several more after I got that one in PR. And ColourPop has even more shades on their website. They have tons of them. But I love just being able to run over to Target and grab one. I think they have like kind of the most popular shades there. And until I discovered these, I had been using a lot of high-end lip liners, like from Makeup Forever, Makeup by Mario, and I still really like those, but I just feel like these are so much more affordable and I like them just as much. So why not save the money and just get these? I mean, of course, these don't come in every single color, so I'm sure there are going to be other ones that I find that I just really like the color, so I'll pay more money for that. But if you happen to be at Target and you're looking for a really fantastic lip liner, check out the Lippy Pencils. They're so good. All right, guys, coming in at number 5, we have the EOS Shea Butter 24-Hour Moisture Body Lotion. I found out about these through Leah Janae's channel. She does a lot of like body care and fragrance content, and she's recommended these a few times. So I ended up going to Target earlier last year and grabbing one of these to try. And since then, I've actually gone back and gotten a few more because I fell in love with this formula. I wasn't expecting to love it nearly as much as I do, but these are so good if you have dry skin. They are thick and rich, almost like a body butter. And I wasn't expecting that because they say body lotion on the bottle, so I was expecting something thin. I usually end up reaching for something that's in like a tub or a jar. I just didn't think this was going to be enough moisture for me, but it totally is. It has 7 nourishing oils and butters in the formula. And even though it's really thick and rich, it sinks in quickly. It doesn't leave you feeling all greasy, like you don't want to put your clothes on, too quickly. And I even keep one of these by the sink in my kitchen and I use it on my hands because it's really the best of both worlds. It gives you that deep moisture, but at the same time, just sinks right in and doesn't leave your hands feeling all greasy like you can't touch everything. I love that, not to mention the scents that these come in are really good. This one that I have here is probably my favorite. It's Vanilla Cashmere. This is the very first one that I got, and the notes are whipped vanilla, soft musk, and cozy caramel. And you definitely smell the vanilla in here. These are also very strong, by the way. So usually if I put one of these on, I've had like my husband or my son say like, "Ooh, what smells good?" And I could be like across the room and I'll have to say, "Oh, I just put lotion on." They think I'm like baking something in the kitchen, but it's just me. So these can almost stand on their own. A lot of times I don't wear perfume when I wear these just because this is almost enough. They do make an unscented one too. So if you just want the moisture without the scent, you want to wear your own perfume, you could do that too. But this particular scent is really sweet. Like you definitely smell the vanilla, but there's also this underlying almost smoky note. And I don't know if it's the caramel, but something about this reminds me a little bit of Replica's By the Fireplace. And I love that fragrance because there's just that sort of little bit of a smoky undertone and not quite as much as in that perfume, but it's similar. Like it has a very close vibe to that, at least for me. But they also have tons of other scents. They have like a coconut, they have strawberry, they have pink champagne. There's a bunch of of different options over at Target, so I highly recommend these. And it's funny because I never really thought of EOS as a brand that I liked, because remember those little domed lip balms that they used to have? I wasn't a big fan of those. They were like not the best. They weren't super moisturizing. So when I saw that they had body care, I kind of like dismissed it. But then when I saw Leah Janae's videos and, she was talking about how good these are, I ended up trying it just for the heck of it and ended up really loving them. So these are some of my favorite body lotions ever. All right, the number 4 thing I would run right out to Target to replace if I lost it is the Retinaldehyde cream serum from Naturium. So I can't even believe that a retinol product made any top 10 list from me, and some of you are probably sitting here really surprised, because if you've been around on my channel for a while, you know how many times I've said I hate retinol, I don't use it, and up until I tried this, I did hate it. I've tried everything from just the basic over-the-counter retinol, which I felt like didn't really do too much for my skin, all the way up to tretinoin. I had a prescription and I've tried that several different times, and no matter what I did, my skin always was just wrecked. It made me so sensitive that other products I would put on would like burn. It would take my skin so long to heal from that. And I know people say that retinol has a certain period of time where your skin is kind of purging and you have to just push past it. I tried that so many times for months, and it just kept getting worse for me instead of better. So at one point I gave up on retinol. I didn't use it for like 10 years. And then more recently, I went back and tried tretinoin again, and it was still just not working for me. So I was about to just swear it off completely, and then I saw an ad for this, and I normally don't watch ads, but there was something about it that just kind of sucked me in, because in the ad they were saying that this has like a time release formula. So instead of putting all the retinol into your skin at once, which can be kind of a shock and really harsh, when you put this on, it sort of just slowly releases it over the course of, many hours. So it's much gentler, it's more well tolerated, and it also comes in 2 strengths. So I have 0.05, which is the lowest version, and then 0.1 is the next step up from there. And this is also retinaldehyde. So it's more potent than regular retinol that you would get in the over-the-counter retinol products like the Neutrogena or Rock. And it's not as strong as tretinoin. It's right in between. And I honestly wasn't sure what to expect, but I was completely shocked when I tried this and have had 0 issues. Like not even a little bit. I was still expecting something to happen. I never had sensitivity. My skin has looked great the whole time I've used this. And I know that it's absolutely working because I've already noticed really big changes in my skin. I've been using this for almost 2 months now. I started this like toward the end of December. Actually, my sister and I both got this on the same day, and we've both been using it and having great results. She also hasn't had any issues with it. So one of the things that I've noticed is that I don't really have to exfoliate my skin anymore. In the past, having dry skin, I would get this roughness, like sometimes when I was washing my face or putting makeup on, I would feel like this rough texture and like flakiness, so I would have to exfoliate usually a couple times a week. And after a couple of weeks of using this, I started to notice like every time I put something on, whether it was cleanser, moisturizer, makeup, whatever it was, I felt like everything just went on so smoothly and my skin felt like it was freshly exfoliated all the time. And I never have had that feeling back where I have those rough flakes or like the bumpiness like I used to have on my cheeks and my forehead. Like that is gone. I've also noticed my sunspots fading quite a bit from what they were before. I haven't noticed a huge difference with wrinkles yet. I've been using it on my neck and I did take before photos, but I've heard that with retinaldehyde and retinol in general, it's usually like several months before you start to see wrinkle reducing benefits. So I'm gonna wait like at least till the 3-month mark and maybe do comparison, and then I'll do it again at 6 months. But I'm just beyond impressed with this formula, and I've actually simplified my skincare routine a lot since using this because I feel like I don't need all of those other products. So I'll use my cleanser. I'll usually use a milky toner before I put this on, just as kind of a little barrier. Then I'll use this, and then I put moisturizer, and that's it. I don't use my vitamin C serum anymore because this has been kind of attacking those dark spots. I don't use like peptides. I've just been trying to use this by itself because when I do my before and after photos, I want to see like what the retinol did. And I think if you're using a whole bunch of other skincare products in the mix, you don't really know what's doing what. So I just really wanted to isolate this in my routine so I know exactly what I can attribute to this. So anyway, when I finish this tube, I might try the next strength up and see what happens. If that one's too strong, I would be happy to go back to this because I feel like even this one is super effective for me so far. Okay, next up at number 3, I have another product from Naturium, and this is their Phyto Glow lip balm. So these are so nice, and really I think the only place you can actually buy them in store is Target. If you have dry lips like I do, these are so thick and rich. A lot of people complain that they're hard to squeeze out of the tube because they're that thick, but that's one of the things I love the most about them. I'll deal with not being able to squeeze it because the thickness of these means that they really stay on your lips for a long time. They're so substantial, you can feel them on your lips for hours. Even after the shine and the color is gone, you still feel that layer of moisture behind. And if you put these on at night before you go to bed, they're still there in the morning. And the colors that they come in are so beautiful. I have several different ones. They have pinks and nudes, and I feel like some of them are subtle. Other ones have more of a little pop of color. So if you have really dry lips or you just like a really thick and rich formula that sticks around for a while, I think you would love these, but you might want to skip them if you prefer lighter weight formulas or lip oils, things like that. These might be too rich for you. But when it comes to hydration, these are really hard to beat. And scent-wise, they have a very, very mild vanilla scent. It's not super strong, and once I put it on, I don't really notice it anymore. But I like vanilla scented lip products anyway, so I'm totally good with that. All right, coming in at number 2, I have a hair oil. This was actually a recommendation from Abby Young, also here on YouTube, and it's the OGX Coconut Miracle Oil. She recommended using this as a pre-wash treatment, and the difference that it's made in my hair has been incredible. She said to apply this before you wash your hair, up to like 30 minutes before or even the night before, which is what I usually do. And the reason for that is because coconut oil has a very low molecular weight. So she said that it actually can penetrate your hair shaft and it can prevent protein loss, and also it helps with porosity. If you have really damaged hair or if you have blonde hair, it's very porous usually, and this will help to kind of fill that in. So when I apply this, I usually put a couple drops into my hands. I just kind of smush them together, and then I start working it in at the ends where my hair is the most damaged, and then work up to the root. And I don't use so much to the point where it looks like an oil slick, but I put, like a decent amount just to kind of coat all of my hair. And then I just go to bed, I wake up in the morning, and then when I wash my hair is really where the magic happens. Personally, because my hair is more fine, I can't use this as intended, like as a finishing oil, because it's way too greasy and it's gonna weigh my hair down. But since I'm just washing it out, it doesn't really matter. Basically, this acts like a barrier. So when you get into the shower, you have this on your hair, it prevents a lot of the water from getting in, which tends to swell up my hair shaft and make it look really frizzy. But at the same time, when you're shampooing, it removes that outer sort of greasy layer. So some of this stays inside my hair, but the coating on the outside gets washed away. And I've noticed that when I get out of the shower, my hair is so much silkier and smoother. It has more movement to it and definitely less frizz than it used to have. And I used to be very prone to frizz. So I definitely recommend this if you have a lot of damage or if you have blonde hair. And it is such an inexpensive treatment. So I definitely don't want to be without this. I use it several times a week, every time I wash my hair, and I just love it. Last but certainly not least, at number 1, it's another lip product, and it's the Neutrogena Hydro Boost lip shines. I know I've talked about these many times in my videos as well, but Target is one of the only stores that still sells Neutrogena makeup. A lot of the drugstores have done away with it and they just sell their skincare products, but not the makeup. And I think the makeup is such a standout line. Not enough people talk about it, in my opinion. Just like the Naturium lip balms, these are very thick, and because they're that way, they have a smoothing effect that I wasn't prepared for. When I first tried these, I was just blown away. I remember doing a video showing the smoothing effect that these have, and I did a before and after picture of my lips up close so you could really see what these do. And in the side by side, the difference was just amazing. I'm always looking for lip products that will smooth out lip lines because even when I was younger, I had a lot of lines in my lips. It's just the way that they've always been. And I've constantly had people say to me, like, you know, you need to put lip balm on because your lips look really dry. And it's like, no, they're not dry. They just have a lot of wrinkles in them and it makes them look dry. So it's something that I've been self-conscious about. And once I tried these, I was like, wow, my lips look so smooth, like I got filler. And I have been able to kind of get the same effect using plumping glosses, but I'm not a fan of how plumping glosses sting and burn. These don't do that. I think they really just plump up your lips from hydration, and then also the thickness of them almost acts like a primer, like a pore smoothing primer would be. It just kind of fills in all the cracks. So for me, they're the perfect lip gloss. They don't have a scent to them either. So if you're sensitive to fragrance or you don't like it in lip products, that's another good thing. I don't believe any of Neutrogena's lip products are scented. So that's amazing. They come in really beautiful colors. And I just can't say enough good things about these. Neutrogena in general has some really, truly amazing products that don't get talked about nearly enough. And if you'd like to see what some of my favorites are, along with some other underrated makeup that doesn't get enough love, I actually have a video that I did on that a little while ago. So I'll link that right here in case you're interested. And I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care. Bye.